What's up, team, and welcome to your intro class. If you are brand new to mobility, this is the perfect place for you to begin. And you're probably here wondering, what even is mobility? In a very, very simple term, mobility is the ability to take our joints through full ranges of motion. And one of the things that we start to experience is stiffness and tightness in our body. And oftentimes we think, let me just stretch my muscles out and that's gonna help me relieve that stiffness and that pain. But the reality is what's most important is to actually work on taking your joints through full ranges of motion. Once we have full ranges of motion at our joints, most of the time, our muscles are very happy. So just think of mobility as a way to kind of lubricate those joints. So today we're gonna start our class standing. We're gonna place our hands on our shoulders, and we're gonna think about drawing huge circles with our elbows. So it doesn't matter which direction you start, because we're gonna go both ways, but I'm gonna think about drawing huge circles with my elbows. And when I'm doing this, I'm actually taking my shoulders through a really big range of motion. So what I want you to start paying attention to is, what do you feel? Are you feeling some snap, crackle, pops? Are you feeling some stiffness, some tightness? Do you get to a certain point and feel like you can't really move more? Good, just be super gentle as we're going through our motion today. What I do not want us to do is work through pain. So you can let your body talk to you. You can hear the snap, crackle, pops. But if you feel pain, I want you to make that motion way smaller. Good, team. So we're gonna go a few here. And if it's feeling good, you can make those circles huge, as big as you want. Notice also, I'm kind of moving my upper body to make them even bigger. And that is totally okay. Good. All right, team. So now let's switch the direction. So again, huge circles. I'm gonna round a little bit when I come forward. I'm gonna open my chest when I go back. And just thinking about taking my shoulders through this huge range of motion. Good, team. Are we breathing? I've given you a lot to think about, but we don't wanna hold our breath as we go through our movement today. Good, let's go two more here. Beautiful, team. Okay, shake those shoulders out. Now we're gonna reach our arms up nice and tall, grab onto your right wrist with your left hand, place that right palm facing out, and you're gonna think about pulling your right arm up and over. In this position, I'm getting a nice big stretch on the side of my right back, and then come back to center. Good. Reaching up and over so that left arm is pulling that right arm. You don't have to go too far. Just as far as you feel that stretch, and then back to center. Good, team. And again, pull it up and over, nice big stretch, and back to center. Okay, shake those arms out, switching to the other side. So we're gonna reach those arms up, left palm faces out, right hand grabs that left wrist, and we pull it up and over, nice big stretch. Now, because the sides of our body are very different, you might notice that on one side, you can't pull as far. I'm noticing it here on the left side. That's all right, just paying attention to how the body feels. It's totally okay to be stiffer and tighter on one side. And relax. Awesome, team. Okay, shaking out those arms, we're gonna do a little spine roll. So when you think about your spine, it goes along our back, and your spine has all these separate bones called vertebrae. So when we do this roll down today, I actually want you to think about each vertebrae slowly moving on its own. So we're gonna stand in a nice, comfortable stance. Wiggle out those knees just so that our legs aren't locked. Good. So starting at the top, we're gonna tuck our chin. Good. And then slowly think about rolling our body down. Very slowly, team. How rounded can you make that back? Good. Should be feeling a nice stretch as you slowly roll down. Make your way down to as far as is comfortable. Maybe your hands touch the mat. Maybe they don't. No judgment here. Just roll down until you're feeling a nice big stretch on the back side of your legs. Good. You can hang on to your ankles if that feels good. Just hang here for a second. All right, team. Now, we're going to start from our tailbone. So
where our glutes are, you're gonna think about slowly tucking that butt under and rolling up. The last thing to come up is our head. So slowly, slowly, slowly coming up, straightening out that back, straightening out that neck, and our eyesight comes up. Beautiful, team. So we're gonna go one more here. Same thing, you're tucking that chin, you're slowly rolling down very, very slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Think about the arms getting heavy. Good, team, rolling down. And then once you get to the bottom here, we're feeling a nice big stretch on the back side of our legs. Maybe the hands are touching the mat. Maybe they're not. It doesn't really matter. Good, team. Just hanging out here for a second. Remember, if it's comfortable, you can grab your ankles and just think about that upper body being nice and heavy. Okay, we're gonna work on rolling our way back up. So think about the glutes, those hips tucking under first. Good, arms, head, neck, all stay super heavy. Slowly rolling up. Our head is the last thing to come up. And we made it. Good work, team. All right, so now we're gonna head into a very wide squat. So the first thing is that I want to make sure that our feet stay firmly planted on the ground the entire time. So in this squat position, you are allowed to go as wide as you need. You can have your toes facing out, but what I don't want is when we come down, all of our weight shifting forward, okay? So we really wanna think about that full foot planted on the ground. So adjust your body as necessary, all right? So I'm gonna find a wide squat here. My toes are slightly out. I'm gonna think about sitting back into that imaginary chair, lowering myself down until my hands can touch the ground. In this position, I'm gonna support myself with my hands. So you can put your weight in your hands. My feet are nice and wide. My heels are planted. Good. I am feeling a big stretch inside my hips. Beautiful, team. And then if you notice here, I'm just kind of moving around. My feet are still staying planted, but I'm just kind of moving around here. And when I'm doing this, I'm just checking out my body. Like, what do things feel like today? How does that feel? My hips feel tight. My right side is a lot tighter than my left. And I'm just kind of noticing those things. All right, team, hands are gonna be planted on the mat now. We're gonna raise our hips up to the ceiling, straighten out our legs, get a nice big stretch. Good. And again, if it feels comfortable, you can kind of sway side to side, find a little movement within your movement. Beautiful. You should be feeling a nice big stretch on the back side of your legs. Beautiful. All right, now drop those hips back down to the mat. Make sure the heels stay firmly planted. Good, and we're just gonna move around again. So in this position, if you are comfortable, you can slowly take a little weight off of the hands. That's gonna just make it a little bit more intense in that hip stretch. Good. Notice my knees are staying nice and wide. That's helping me stretch out those hips as well. I'm just rocking back and forth. Beautiful, team. Okay, place those hands to the mat, nice and firm. Raise those hips up. And again, nice big stretch on the back side of our body. Last time here. Try to make sure that the knees are not locked out. So you want to just have a slight little bend in the knees. Beautiful. And then back into that squat. Good, team. Last squat here. Rocking around. You might also notice some things about your body, like when you try to rock to one side, your ankles feel super tight. Good. It's just things to pay attention to, but it's also why mobility is so important, because we're going to be working through all of those stiffness and tightness and all those feelings that you feel in these mobility classes. Good, team. All right, relax. We're going to come down to an all fours position. So that just means your knees are on the ground, your hands are on the ground. Your toes can be up or down. It doesn't matter to me, just whatever's comfortable. And then we're gonna think about really, really rounding our back. So in this position, we're gonna go to what's called cat-cow in yoga. So we're gonna round our back as much as we can. Think about tucking that chin under. Good, team. like we're creating a bridge with our body. And then we're gonna drop our belly to the mat and we're gonna arch as much as we can. Think about the eyesight and the chin coming up to the ceiling. Beautiful, team. And again, we're gonna go into that rounded position. Think about if I had a string pulling the center of my back up, how round can I be? There we go. Probably feeling a stretch between your shoulder blades. Good, team. And you can think about pressing your hands into the mat to get a little bit more of that rounded position. Perfect. And then dropping the belly down, arching the back. Eyesight looks up to the ceiling. Excellent, team. A few more here. So we're going to round. Perfect. And then arch. Good. And just think about smoothly moving in and out of these moves. So we round. Are we breathing? Good. And we arch. And last one, rounding here. And arching. Excellent, team. Okay, our last little move for today, we're gonna go into a child's pose. So knees can be as wide as is comfortable. Your glutes are resting on your heels. We're gonna walk ourselves forward. And then in this position, you're just gonna think about resting your forehead on the mat and getting a nice, big, relaxing stretch here. Good, team. Let's take a big breath in and exhale. 3 more big breaths in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Last 2. And last 1. And relax. Slowly make your way up to a seated position. And we are done. Team, thank you so much for joining me here today. And just remember, with mobility, it's coming back to the mat quite often to practice these moves. That's when you're gonna feel the difference in your body. You're gonna feel the relief, but be gentle with yourself because for most of us, these are brand new movements. So you can come back to this class as often as you like. There's no such thing as too much mobility. So thank you so much for joining me here today, and I'll see you back on the mat very soon.